Yo, what's going on? Mike from Mike Talk Sports. In a 2023 NFL draft class that really lacks linebacker depth and linebacker talent overall, it's extremely important to find those late round linebackers that end up stepping up into a starting role early on in their career and end up carving out a really good career. And this year, in my opinion, this player is going to be SirVocea Dennis out of Pittsburgh. At the moment, SirVocea Dennis is projected to be a 4th to a 5th round prospect, but in my opinion, he's going to step into an NFL organization right away and really blow people away. First and foremost, this guy's character and leadership is absolutely off the charts. When you're trying to hit on these late round prospects, something that you really look for is that character and that high IQ out there on the football field, and that's something that SirVocea Dennis really displays. There is a really good video on YouTube of Dennis mic'd up before his senior season in practice, and you could just tell he loves being a teacher out there. He has such a high IQ, and he really shares it with his guys. He's somebody who makes the team around him better. In his last year at Pitt, he had 94 tackles. In his entire career, he had 36 tackles for loss, and he had 15 sacks. Dennis is an extremely instinctive linebacker with an elite first step in acceleration and burst off the ball. This causes him to consistently make splash plays in the run game on tape. He's just so aggressive out there. He's a guy who never shies away contact. For his size, he's 6 foot tall, 226 pounds, so he's not the biggest guy in the world, but for a guy with that size, he's actually really good at block shedding and getting around bigger offensive linemen. He's an extremely sound and sticky tackler. He only missed 3 tackles per PFF all year last year. He has great run diagnostics. He reads the play almost immediately out there. His gap discipline is absolutely excellent. He's almost never out of position. He's not a guy with incredible speed, but that sideline to sideline speed, and again, that burst and downhill mentality really does show up on tape for Dennis. He's a guy who, no doubt in my mind, pretty early on in his NFL career as a late round linebacker, is a 3-down linebacker. It is so rare nowadays in the NFL. I think there's this perception that every team runs a 4-3 or every team runs a 3-4. Most teams in the NFL nowadays run some type of hybrid of a 4-2 system where you only have 2 stand-up linebackers. It really makes no sense to have more than 2 stand-up linebackers on any given play because realistically, most linebackers have somewhat of a weakness. If they are really good in the run stopping game like Dennis, oftentimes they're not the best guy in coverage, or if they're good in both, then hey, they're not that good of a blitzer. This is not true of Dennis at all. He's really good at all 3 aspects of the linebacker position. I just talked about his elite run stopping ability, and that really is the first thing that shows up on tape with Dennis, but his pass ability and his pass coverage ability in the shallow flats and in the inside part of the field at the linebacker positions actually really nice. He does have nice length and a nice length on his arms. And again, his diagnostics is so good to the point where I really do believe he shows on tape, especially in that Duke game, he really shows the ability to guard really good and agile running backs at the next level, tight ends at the next level, and hell, even some slot receivers at the next level, which is a very rare trait to show on tape from the linebacker position. And then at Pitt in his last year, 1/3 of passing plays, he was on the field. He was used as the primary blitzer because Dennis, again, he has that it factor about him where he just wants to have his nose in the football. He really is a bullet in that sense out there on the field. His bend and bull rush moves are actually extremely impressive out of a stand-up linebacker, and I really would not be surprised at the next level right away a team drafts him with the idea that they are going to convert him to edge right away. I genuinely think, again, he could be a 3-down linebacker, so I think you are capping his potential a little bit if you do this, but I completely understand. Again, he has really good bend and size for that edge position. So for a guy who really shows up on tape and has such a high character. To me, this is a very high floor guy in the 4th, 5th round of the draft. He's going to come in right away and be a really good special teamer. And again, depending on the situation, I think he can step in right away. He's not a scheme-dependent player whatsoever. He really could play on-ball linebacker, off-ball linebacker in any system in the NFL and succeed pretty quickly. He is a very high processor for the game. Again, he was a captain at Pitt, and he really showed the ability and the want and the desire to get better and to have his teammates get better. I absolutely love a guy like that. I'm really rooting for Dennis's success at the next level, and this is definitely one of my favorite later round picks in this year's NFL draft. Thanks for listening, guys. Where do you think Dennis ends up? Do you want him on your favorite team? Let me know in the comment section below.